Montana is known as the treasure state, and part of that treasure is coal and oil. How specifically do you intend to represent the state's interests in getting those resources out of the ground? And in this regard, do you consider the EPA an enemy of Montana's interests or a helpful partner?
Well, the first thing you got to realize is that I'm a true believer that Montana should go after its natural resources in order to propel its economy. Of course, as a libertarian, there's only a couple of rules to that. You can't damage anybody's life, liberty, or property in going after those things. Now, the EPA, is it a good thing or a bad thing? I think generally they've overregulated and overstepped their bounds. If I'm correct on this, I'm pretty sure that it was a Republican who put the EPA in effect, Richard Nixon. So what we need to do is we need to get government out of the way unless one of these coal producers or somebody else is going to damage somebody's life, liberty, or property.
Well, Senator Tester's support the EPA is shutting a business down in Billings, Montana. When the companies came to him, when the Montana Chamber came to him, when the Farm Bureau came to him and said, please don't vote to continue those regulations because it might shutter a plant in Billings, Montana and around the nation, he voted with the EPA. He voted with the Obama administration. What is going to happen? 35 lost jobs, $10 million out of the Billings and Yellowstone County economy. You know, that's enough to power 100,000 households. That means like shutting down all of Flathead County. Think of the power that that could create at an affordable rate for a group like CFAC right here. Wouldn't that be great to be able to open that and have the high-paying jobs that come along with that? And so you're either going to side with the EPA and shut down coal-fired plants against the best wishes and the best knowledge that coal is a great part of our economy in Montana, and oil and gas. We have the highest concentration of undeveloped coal in the country. You don't do things like vote with the EPA to shut down a plant in Billings.
Coal, oil, natural gas, all of our renewable energy resources are critically important to this state. For the congressman to say that the Corrette plant will be closed 3 years from now because of regulation of the EPA today, when that regulation's been on the book for 20 years, and PP&L made $1.5 billion last year. They would have to spend a small percentage of that to keep Corrette open, but no, PP&L's more interested in outsourcing your jobs, similar policy what the congressman has advocated in his tenure in Congress. Outsource those jobs to other countries, we'll make that investment there, and the hell with Montana. This is all a product of deregulation, which PPL supported and which the congressman supported back in the 90s. And quite frankly, the EPA makes its rules, and some of them are bad, and some of them aren't so bad. The ones that are bad, we need to get off the books, and the ones that are workable, we need to work with.
Gentlemen, you have 30 seconds for a rebuttal. The order is the same. Mr. Cox, Congressman Rehberg, and Senator Tester.
Well, once again, this is another argument about federal government, EPA. Who knows best how to manage these resources, the federal government or Montana? I mean, if you take a look at the Montana state constitution, it says in there that everybody has a right to a clean and healthful environment. Maybe we should turn this a little bit more over to the state and get the federal government out of it. They've never been able to manage it properly, and you shouldn't expect them to now.
Senator had an opportunity to vote no. He was asked to vote no. The company said directly, you vote yes, we're probably going to have to shut this plant down. Cap and trade, he voted for cap and trade. What is that? That's nothing more than energy taxes because it'll make you pay more for your energy. It's going to cost jobs. It's part of Montana's economy. Cap and trade is a bad idea. So was shutting down the Corrette plant. Because, you know, on average, that could end up costing you 25% more in your utility costs alone, just here in Montana.
PP&L was in my office, Congressman. And in April of last year, they said they could deal with the utility MAC rule. They said what they asked me to work on was the problems they had with coal ash and haze, and we have been doing that, and we will continue to do that. So the bottom line is I did listen to the executives of PP&L. And they said they could work with this regulation that's been on the books for 20 years. And then a few months ago, or a few weeks ago actually, they decided to announce a proposed plant closing 3 years from now. I said before, we're drilling more, we're importing less, we're utilizing our resources more. I think that's a good thing.